Hi everyone! Today is Earth Day, so I am bringing you books that all celebrate our beautiful planet, or how to take care of our beautiful planet. The first one is called Compost Stew, an A to Z recipe for the earth, and it's written by Mckenna Siddals, illustrated by Ashley Wolf. Now, this is a really, really fun ABC book that's all about composting. It takes you from like A, apple cores, B, bananas, just goes through the whole alphabet and talks about everything that you could put into a compost pile. And one of the cool features of the book is, do you see how it's like they are taking recycled materials? All the illustrations are montages of recycled materials, like all kinds of paper. So there's just so many different kinds of like textures in the book. It's just beautifully done, and just a beautiful testament to how to compost and how helpful composting is to the environment. And at the very end, you get a little note about other ways to compost if you don't have some of the things that they talked about in the book. So I highly recommend this if you are interested in composting. Excuse me. Now, the next one is called Spring After Spring, How Rachel Carson Inspired the Environmental Movement by Stephanie Roth Sisson. So this is a biographic book about Rachel Carson and just what it was that inspired her to write her book. And, you know, she was huge in the environmental movement, and her book changed the world and, led to so many different, legislation, and just impacted the way we see the earth in so many ways. So this is just a great book for kids to learn about who she was and how she got to the point in her life where she wanted to take action and wanted to do something to help the earth. And then also in the end, you have a little author's note that explains, what inspired her to, the author of this book, to write the book about Rachel Carson. And then you've got some great notes, so you know that everything in the book is factual. And you have a bibliography in the back, so you can also do some further reading about Rachel Carson. So if you want to learn about her, and it's a great way to inspire kids to make a change in their world, then check out Spring After Spring. The next book is, and this is a award-winning book, it's We Are Water Protectors, written by Carole Lindstrom, illustrated by Michaela Goad. And this is a beautiful book that talks about the indigenous tribes and their connection to water. And also, it's also about the pipeline, and how in their culture they believed that there was this black snake that was going to come and harm the world, or their culture and the earth. And so the symbolism of that pipeline is, like the black snake. And it is the women of the tribe that are protectors of the water. And this book it's just beautifully done. It's got a very like watercolor feel to it in the illustrations, and it just talks about, why water is so important to us as humans. And, it's very inspirational. I read it with my daughter, and as we were reading it, it inspired her and it moved her. So I highly recommend this beautiful book, We Are Water Protectors, as a way to introduce to kids just about how, we're protectors of our earth, and we need to do all that we can to protect our natural resources. And then we have Rainbow Weaver by Theodora. It's Rainbow Weaver, Theodora del Arco Iris is the bilingual version. And it's written by Linda Elovitz Marshall. And it's illustrated by Elisa Chavari. And this is a beautiful story about this. It takes place in Guatemala, and it's all about the Mayan tradition of weaving and how the group sustains themselves by weaving textiles. And this story is about a little girl who she wants to learn how to do it because her mothers and her grandmothers and her aunts and all the women in the community are weaving these beautiful tapestries, and she wants to do it too, but they keep telling her well, we don't have threads for you to do it. So she's just really sad about it. And then she tries different things. She tries grass and old pieces of wool, and it's just not working for her, and it doesn't have that same effect that she wants, like what the older women in her community use. So then she notices that there's a lot of colorful bags that are littering her community. So then she decides that she is going to use those bags. And so not only is it a story about culture and traditions within this Mayan group, but it's also about how, paying attention to your surroundings and cleaning up the environment can lead to something, very beautiful. And when she started picking up the bags, then other people decided hey, it looks so much better now. And they started collecting bags to help her so that she could do the weaving. So I highly recommend the Rainbow Weaver. And it is a story that's in both English. It's both in English and Spanish, so it's bilingual. You have the English on the top and the Spanish on the bottom. And this one is it's also, the illustrations are just beautiful, very colorful. You get a lot of, rich detail about the Mayan culture. Just a beautiful all-around book. And then at the end, there's also an author's note where she explains what it was that inspired this book. She happens to have some friends who lived in Guatemala and worked with the weavers and helped them to sell their beautiful weavings so that they could help their community. So check out Rainbow Weaver, Theodora del Arco Iris, which is just the Spanish version of it. The last book is called Heal the Earth by Julian Lennon with Bart Davis, and it's illustrated by Similajana Ka. And this is another beautiful book. You know how much I love illustrations and picture books. It's kind of got lots of different dimensions, as you can tell. And this is a story about how it kind of talks about how different areas of the world don't have the medical things that they need, but it's also about how the earth needs to be healed, like the coral reefs and just other areas of the world that need our help to heal. And it gives, children ideas of what they can do to help heal the earth. And it's an interactive book. There's lots of places where, as you're reading it, the reader is supposed to like push buttons or push this to like make the magic of the healing the earth happen. So it's a very fun book to read with a young child because they are really going to enjoy that interactive element of it. At least when I read it with my 6-year-old, she really enjoyed being able to just interact with the book as we read it to make things happen. So happy Earth Day, and I hope you will find a book that inspires you and speaks to you today, so that we can all live on this earth, this beautiful earth of ours. So thank y'all for listening.